Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 2 in a series between TT1 and DuskBinF91. Game 2 taking place here on Shattered Temple. I am looking forward to this matchup, casting it with you guys. And Game 1, a really intense battle on Tal'Darim Altar, going back and forth for quite some time. That was a really nice game. If you guys haven't checked it out, it is game 746 in my numbered videos. Anyways, taking a look at this game, we have DuskBinF91 spawning as the blue Zerg player at the 7 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have TTI or TT1 spawning as the green Protoss here at 3 o'clock position. I think officially his name is TT1, but because Blizzard doesn't allow numbers in your name, it is TT and then like the capital letter I guess, or Roman numeral I or 1 if you want to get that specific and technical. Now, DuskBin and the probe quickly coming in, and now we do know that it is going to be ally spawns here on Shattered Temple. Ally spawns a definite issue for Zerg, as Zerg wants to be as far away as possible whenever possible, especially on these 4 spawning location maps. So we'll see how this particular game plays out and what will be happening in just a moment. We are still getting, there is already a probe down over here trying to block what would normally be a hatchery, but no hatchery. Instead, it is going to be a spawning pool first, and then perhaps a delayed extractor. And once that delayed extractor comes into play, 4 Zerglings will be able to make their way down, and then this one particular probe, even if he tries to drop down a pylon, will not be able to accomplish very much at all. The probe still wandering around back and forth. We do see the spawning pool here, and the extractor. Meanwhile, back in the base of TTI, there is already the assimilator, another standard build. Second pylon around, I believe, 16 food, and we should be getting a cybernetics core in just a moment. And now chrono boosting more and more probes, delaying in order to get a Nexus. Is he actually going for... No, he is not going to be going for a Nexus. He did spend 100 minerals in order to warp a pylon down over here to delay what normally would be a hatchery at this stage. But a queen now being warped in, or morphed in instead, and trained over there at the hatchery. You obviously know back over here, the queen doesn't take larvae, so that is one of the benefits of training queens. It doesn't slow down your drone production at all, as that one probe able to continually delay the building of this hatchery fairly effectively now. And this is from really nice micro and some nice juking, and now finally trying to run away but unable to do so, as Zerglings were able to catch up and take it down. No Nexus here though, as we should be getting a Zealot right there. The Zealot is going to get off one hit onto that one particular drone, but because that drone was mineral pathing, was able to simply pass right through that Zealot as though it wasn't there. There is an Overlord now making its way over. And we also have some Zerglings now just continuing to move around the map, trying to figure out and see if his opponent is going to be doing a very aggressive push or not. The problem with the Zergling now, at this stage, we're also going to get a Stalker, so that Stalker going to get some damage onto that Zergling very easily. One of the issues with TTI at this stage, or with F91, is that he has no idea what his opponent is going for. He doesn't know if it's going to be Stargate play or if it's going to be gateways, and a lot of early pressure with gateway units. All he can really do is just try to scout out and try to hope and try to play to see what his opponent is going for. There is an Overlord here ready to sacrifice itself in order to come in and take a look around on the inside of this base. And we'll see what will be happening. There are probes now down over here just continuing to mine. Taking a look at the mining production, 26 probes compared to 22 drones. A slight economic advantage by TTI or TT1, but as soon as the drones are transferred over here, the delay, the delay or the stop in diminishing returns. Oh, a delay or a cancelled Roach Warren now. Not 100% sure what that was about. Not going for the Roach Warren, getting an Evolution Chamber, and he's actually playing straight into the hand of of TT1. TT1 now getting sentries and stalkers. Those roaches would have been able to deal a lot more damage, but if he tries to go for banings or tries to go for a quick tier 2, he's going to be in a world of hurt as the queen now down over here. The Nexus is finally coming into play. It is a little bit delayed, as a decent-sized army now moving out. One spine crawler on at the front. All it would take is a force field here in order to stop any reinforcements along that side, and then a lot of damage could have been dealt, but it looks like TT1 did not want to do any all-in push by any means, and now simply just sitting inside his base, hoping to protect his natural expansion. The Zergling, I believe, was able to spot the Nexus here. And by being able to spot that Nexus is pretty much without worry at this time. Taking a look around the base, this would be a perfect time for a Nidus network. There's so much dark area around the base that you can easily put in a Nidus worm and then just start flooding units straight into the base already. You can see that the sentries and the stalkers are now making their way out. A lot of Zerglings now going to try to make it up that ramp, and will a force field? Oh, a force field! Perfect positioning! Wow, that was absolutely huge. Being able to force field and now trap a lot of Zerglings, a lot of losses there. That whole entire early Zergling army simply picked apart by essentially 200 energy. That was beautiful, beautiful play. Nicely done, I must say. And now we are going to get some photon cannons and now protect as the sentries and the stalkers are now going to make their way down. 500 resources lost, but the DPS on those Zerglings just very, very high and very, very critical. The roaches are now back over here as well, getting ready to move out. The roach warren was re-established and rebuilt as we are now teching the tier 2. The Zerglings now once again corralled inside 5 force fields, so more units still being lost as we are now finally going into a robotics facility. So these sentries are just absolutely unstoppable so far. Very, very nice sentry play by TT1. More spine crawlers now getting added. The front door does have one spine crawler and now some roaches. So will enough damage be dealt? Stalkers now trying to come in. Zealots now swarming in as well. But oh, very nice force field. The roaches were able to push through as the roaches are now in a very, very desperate pocket. The one spine crawler, the second spine crawler now being built. And the spine crawlers with that many force fields was actually protected against the zealots, as the roaches perhaps should be researching burrow, or the hatcheries should be researching burrow in order to get more mileage out of those roaches. The units are now once again in full retreat. Colossi could be coming in soon. No Immortals now being added. No Observer now being added. Canceling Immortal, and it is going to be, I believe, a 4-gate with a robotics facility, and a lot of damage is going to be had unit-wise and drone-wise. 50 probes versus 44. 50 probes versus 44 drones. Zerglings now trying to take down and perhaps enter in through another way, as this would lead straight into his opponent's base without having to deal with the photon cannons on the far side. And that may be exactly what F91 needs in order to break that front door. That one spine crawler is low on hit points. Perhaps it needs to regenerate a little bit more quickly. And getting another queen with a transfusion would help as well. Zergling's now going to start pecking away at these destructible rocks. And as the damage gets dealt, the roaches need to come in order to finish off these rocks, as the main army may be trying to move out. You can see a decent-sized army here. More stalkers being added to the front. The stalkers have no idea. You can hear by the sound, my game sounds, that the rocks are not. He didn't hear it, so he does not know that the rocks are being destroyed unless he actually saw the rocks in just a moment. Immortal will be joining in, and now perhaps the Zerglings and the roaches think that they can try to put some pressure, but that is going to be a very, very difficult proposition. The stalkers are now moving out. So as those stalkers are now moving out, perhaps the roaches and Zerglings may be able to move in and get some damage if he times this correctly. No, the units are once again moving back. He needs to get more creep tumors down so he knows when his opponent is actually trying to engage him. As soon as the units move in over here or off into this direction, he can just flood these roaches in. The glial reconstitution has been completed, so those roaches do move at a decent speed. The stalkers the stalkers know that the rocks have been destroyed, but I don't know if he's actually seen that yet. As the stalkers are now going to reveal themselves onto that creep, is he going to actually retreat? No, he's actually going to try to attack now. No, he's actually retreating. Alright, apparently he couldn't decide, going back and forth, and now the creep tumor was destroyed, and now in full retreat once more. I think the roaches and zerglings could have actually dealt a decent amount of damage, but then this would leave that front door very, very much wide open. Perhaps getting a spine crawler or two here would help him out. The roaches now trying to make their way out and sees that there are the zerglings, and the zerglings are just getting picked apart once more. Roaches now simply coming in, getting some damage onto those stalkers, and those stalkers are just getting torn apart by that attack there. Multiple units have been destroyed. The force field's not quite finding their mark, and now the roaches able to retreat once more. We did see a guardian shield come up, but the guardian shield does not help nearly as much, as we are now going into 2 Colossus build. More roaches now being added as the zerglings and roaches are now trying to test that front door. But there's the force field. More roaches now stuck on the wrong side. And now, because F91 doesn't have burrow, isn't able to retreat with those units, yeah, that's just going to be it. There's not much that can be done. Force fields, so many sentries, not much you can really do about it, as those roaches now are effectively pulling away. No massive unit in F91's army, and that is the beginning of the end. That's going to start to tip things in favor, as you can start to see the army is getting stronger and stronger, and with more immortals and colossi being trained in, added to this army, things are just going to go very, very well for the Protoss. But harvester count, no, army size wise, in terms of food, significantly higher for Zerg. So TT1 still needs to play this really, really carefully and very safely. He does have the 1-1 upgrades. Roaches are only 1-0 upgraded, so there is a little bit of a benefit for those stalkers, especially against those zerglings who do not have any upgrades at all. And now you can see a Nexus trying to be warped in over here. DuskBinF91 gonna snipe down this Nexus with relative ease. Down it goes, and now the roaches and zerglings are in full retreat once more. Perhaps these units are gonna try to push in on the front door. No, not doing so. But TT1 does know that this set of backdoor rocks have already been taken down, and now it looks like he's going to try to use that to his own advantage. Production-wise, finally getting tunneling claws and burrow research started. Burrow research finally going to help those roaches and try to escape those force fields. 1 roach, 2 roaches were taken down. There is an overseer. That overseer now trying to fly away, but without the pneumatized carapace is quickly going to get destroyed. Roaches now swarming in as well. Creep tumor not in play in time, as those roaches trying to fight back even further. More roaches just walking around the force fields, not able to do very much. And yeah, that Protoss ball just dishing out the damage much more quickly than those roaches are able to deal it, and that is going to be the game, I believe. Well, those roaches are still exchanging blow for blow, and now the stalkers and immortals once again pushing through. But yeah, down to less than a 300 resource army compared to a 4,000 resource with only zerglings in production. That definitely does not look good. The immortals now trying to fight back against those zerglings. The zerglings, for some reason, turning around, as those immortals will be able to easily take down the spine crawlers. What, 4 to 5 shots? 4 to 5 shots onto one of those spine crawlers. One destroyed, another going to get destroyed very, very easily. Zerglings now pecking apart, but the stalkers are going to be a little bit too much, I believe. Roaches are still coming in, though, so a new fresh wave of roaches may be enough. There is 1 sentry blocking the ramp. Units going to have a difficult time trying to come in, burrowing underneath as the drones joining in on the fight. But still, the roach reinforcement is not coming in nearly fast enough, as the immortals are going to be able to finish off multiple roaches. And that, I believe, is going to be game, folks, as the stalkers and immortals cleaning up this. And there's the GG by DuskBinF91. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between DuskBinF91 and Fanatics TT1 here on Shattered Temple.